A huge welcome to Steve's Kitchen in Perth. We've only been here a few days and I fancied getting my eye in and doing some cooking in the kitchen. Now we haven't got many ingredients. I do actually have a bag of chocolate, so that's a good start. But apart from that, we've only really got flour, water, a little bit of sugar. So keeping with that sort of Mexican theme, I'm actually going to go for churros, but not the traditional churros or the traditional churros that we have today with the egg and the butter in. We're going for churros from the old traditions of the Spanish and Portuguese. We're just going to be doing this egg and butter free with just flour, water and a little bit of seasoning. But trust me, even though this sounds simple, they're going to taste so good. Come on, let's make traditional churros. Now make a note, the beauty of this recipe is we're using equal quantities of water by flour. So I've got a cup of flour here and a cup of water the same size. For those of you that care the boring statistics, this is 200 grams of flour and this is about 300 milliliters of water, and I think that's about 7 ounces, just a little bit over, and a cup and a third. First things first, we want to take our water and heat it up on the stove. Now we're just going to get the water to come up to a rolling boil like that. I'm then going to turn the heat off. I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to season the water with about half a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to add our flour into the water. And I'm going to mix the flour and the water together, but we don't want to overmix. Don't worry if there's lumps in there and bits of flour. Now our dough at the moment is going to be piping hot, so I'm going to leave it for no longer than 5 minutes to cool down, which is the perfect amount of time for us to make a delicious chocolate dipping sauce. I've got my chocolate melts, just nip the top off. We want about a cup of melts into a microwave safe bowl. Into that we're going to add about half a cup of whipping cream, just pour it over the chocolate. Now we're back with the Mexican influences. I'm going to add a little bit of chili flakes in with the chocolate and cinnamon. Cinnamon and chocolate go really well together, probably about 1/4 teaspoon in. Then the whole bowl goes into the microwave for about 30 seconds to 60 seconds. The cream's going to heat up and melt the chocolate and we're going to have a lovely sauce. Now it looks as if those chocolate melts haven't melted, but if I get the whisk in there and give it a good stir through, you'll see it'll all come together into a beautiful thick and rich chocolate cream. In those few moments the dough has cooled down, I'm just going to take some olive oil, put it onto my countertop, maybe about a tablespoon. I'm then going to turn that raggy dough out onto the counter. A little more olive oil over the top. And we're just going to pull this dough into the center, push it down, a couple of folds over, doesn't need any more than that. It doesn't matter that it's still a little bit raggy. You see, what we're doing is minimal handling of the flour and the dough so that we don't get too much gluten. We want this churro batter to be nice and light and flaky. Now I'm using a piping bag and I think about a 3/4 inch star nozzle. Pop that into the bag. But also, because this is a pretty solid batter, I'm actually going to double bag this. It'll just stop the bag from splitting. If you have a stronger piping bag, you won't have to worry about this, but I suggest if you're using Ziplocs or piping, make it double the thickness. I'm going to get my dough up together, form it into a little bit of a cone. I'll drop it into the bag, give it a little shake down. Now bear in mind that this is still warm, but you can see the batter's going to come out beautifully. On the stovetop, I've got a pan of hot oil. It's about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. Now I'm just going to squeeze the churro mix into the hot oil and cut it off with a pair of scissors, maybe about 3 or 4 inches in length. I'm going to do 4 to 5 churros. Now with the heat of the oil, they seem as if they're going to stick, but as they go a little bit golden brown, you'll find you can disconnect them with a slotted spoon or a pair of tongs, and do be careful with the hot oil. You may need to turn them once or twice, but when they're golden brown, we're just going to lift them out of the oil and pop them onto a paper towel to drain. Now it smells delicious in here. They come out really beautiful. There's no sugar in this batter, so they don't go brown too quickly, which is absolutely perfect for what we want. Now I want to coat these over in a lovely cinnamon and sugar. 3 or 4 tablespoons of Castor sugar or superfine sugar into a bowl. About half a teaspoon of powdered cinnamon. Give that a little mix through so we've got a lovely cinnamon sugar. Now those lovely crisp churros are going to go into a bowl. I'll sprinkle that sugar over the churros. Now it's best to do this while they're still hot. And I'm going to get my hands in there and give them a good coat over. So I'll just take some churros, put them onto a little serving plate here. I think I'm going to have 4 of them. Now I've got that delicious chocolate sauce with a little bit of chili and spice in it. Now I can't wait to get tucked in. So here goes, such few ingredients, but such a delicious smelling. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, holy guacamole, this is so good. Now if you've missed any of the previous Mexican recipes that I put up, I'll leave a playlist link so you can get and check them out. But you can see we've only been here a few days and I've been able to make something that Michelle and I are going to really enjoy. So I'm going to finish the video here. Give this a try at home. Tell me what you think. I will actually do one of the enriched churros very shortly as well and show you some fun things we can do with that. But in the meantime, be good and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.